So I have some pumpkin left over from the dinner that I'm doing tonight. Now I'm going to dehydrate this one today, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So basically I'm going to obviously take the skin off, take the seeds out, then I'm going to chop it up into probably about centimetre sort of size bits. Then I'm going to steam it off for a couple of minutes, and then basically it'll go straight into the dehydrator from there. It is pretty simple dehydrating to do it. Some things need to be blanched, like the pumpkin, and other things you can just cut them up and put them straight in. Cutting them into sort of cube-sized pieces, and that will be about a good size to use. Your sizes depend on what you plan on using it for. This I'll be using to go into stews, casseroles, that kind of thing. So I'm cutting it about the size that I would use it in if I was to put it into a soup or stew. That's probably about the size I'd use. Now the better they are the same shape, the more evenly they will dehydrate, but something like a pumpkin, it's not easy to get them all the same size and shape, so I'll just do them as best I can. Get this pumpkin done. My pot of water is boiling. I bought this special little rack that I can put my veggies in and put it straight in and out of the pot. So I'm literally going to blanch these off for like 1 minute. So I'm put it in. Once the water comes back up to a boil, then I'll start my timer. It's just starting to come to the boil now, so I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. 45. It's my 1 minute, taking it straight out. This is why I love this basket. Dipping it straight into some cold water to stop the cooking process. In with my next basket and wait till it comes to the boil. So these over here, they're cooling down quite nicely now. It doesn't take much. They're firm but soft to touch, so that's exactly where I want it to be. So I'm just going to drain these ones and get some fresh water for the next lot. So now all we need to do is put them on to the dehydrator racks, spread them out a bit, try and get them as single possible. And with a bit of space between them if you can. It's not hugely an issue if you don't have space between them. You will just then come around in a couple of hours and move them around every couple of hours to help them dry a little more evenly. And then they go straight into the dehydrator. Right, so these will go into the dehydrator at about 125 degrees. For how long? Who knows? It's like most other vegetables, you never know how long they're actually going to take, how much fluid's in them. So 25 and off she goes. I'll bring you back and show you what they look like. So just a quick note on the pot of water that I've just boiled pumpkins in. So you can see it's just a pot of water now, basically without the pumpkins in it. But that water will contain a fair amount of nutrients from the pumpkin or whatever other vegetable you've actually been blanching off. So if you choose to, you can either keep that water and you could actually use it to make stock with, or then you could give it to your dog, who might drink it, or your cat, they might drink it and they'll get a lot of good nutrients out of it as well. So it's even tipping it into one of your pots in your garden, it'll also give the nutrients to that particular plant that you give it to as well. So just make sure you let it cool down first before you do anything with it, but it is a good way of reusing your water in any of those ways. So just come to check on the pumpkin that we were dehydrating. It is now really quite hard and crunchy. You can see how much it shrivels up into just about nothing, but it is pretty cool. So now I'll just get these guys in some jars and I'll keep an eye on the jars over the next couple of days just to make sure that they don't have any more moisture left in them. You'll be able to tell if the jar gets condensation on them. If they don't, then I'll label them and put them up on the shelf. Half a pumpkin about this size fits into a large Makona jar. It's amazing how much they reduce in size.